You made a very wise decision to join In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics today, because we have Lou Anarumo, Bengals defensive coordinator, talking about what took place against the Pittsburgh Steelers and what has taken place during the course of the season. A good start, a little bit of a lull that they're in right now. He's very honest, very frank, pulls no punches. Good information about the good and the bad. They have done some good things. Takeaways, red zone. I mean, you can give a list of positives, but defending the run, yards in general, I mean, those kind of things have to be improved upon and corrected for the Bengals to have a chance down the stretch here. And Lou Anarumo talks about every bit of it, and talks about every bit of it with complete honesty. You're going to enjoy it. Appreciate you taking time to join us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, as always, emanating from our outstanding studios. And we have a great guest with us, I should say, for you this morning. That is defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. In my humble opinion, as good as there is in the business and the Bengals and everybody in Bengaldom. I should appreciate this man's efforts, because in my mind, head coach positions coming his way very, very quickly. There's going to be a lot of openings coming up here, and this gentleman is more than qualified for that type of opportunity. Coach, appreciate you joining us, sir.
Thanks, Lap. Thanks for having me.
So, obviously, tough sledding against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Paycor. When you looked at the tape after the football game, what struck you first and foremost?
Well, it's been our Achilles heel as of late, and it's these explosive plays that we've been giving up, both in the pass game and the run game. You look at their field goal drive there at the end, and it was, a 22-yard run where we got somebody at the point of attack, and then a 13-yard run where we got to just get the guy on the ground, and then it's, 0-0 kick a field goal. So, or the previous drive where they, hit a deep go ball, and then again it's 2 yards, 3 yards, kick a field goal. So, we just have to we have to buckle down on those things. Certainly not give up as many yards as we're giving up. We would be happy with one touchdown in the game, but that's not good enough. They scored 16 points, which in that game was too much.
Yeah, like you said, 16 points normally. I mean, if you hold a team to 17 or less in the National Football League, that's usually high percentage of the time you're gonna win the football game. There's no question about it. I guess the bright spot was in the red zone. They get there 4 times and only get 1 touchdown out of it, and you get a takeaway, a turnover, in the red zone. Now you've held the opponent without a point in the red zone 8 times, which is tied for the league lead. Stopping people on 4th down like you have, takeaways like you have, that red zone efforts continue to be big, don't they?
Yeah, it has come up. That's been one of the constants throughout the consistent things throughout the year, and we got to bring that into the rest of our game. We certainly could have done some things differently on my end to help the guys out, and it always starts with myself, and we trickle it down to the players and making sure that we're all on the same page, which we always have been, and that's no different right now. But we just got to execute better.
Takeaways in general, there was one important one, a red zone takeaway. Bengals had a turnover as well in the red zone, so kind of evened each other out in a net 0 from a turnover standpoint. But you've got 12 interceptions now in the season, tied for 3rd most in the NFL. 7 fumble recoveries, tied for 9th in the National Football League. 19 takeaways, tied for 7th best in the National Football League. That's been another bright spot, is on a consistent basis throughout the season, is taking the football away and getting extra possessions for your offense.
No, that our guys have definitely been aware of where the ball is and going after it and making the most of the opportunities when they present themselves. And no better example than Zach Carter the other day, where
Right.
he's playing off a block and sees the ball exposed, punches it out, and DJ was aware to scoop and get going down the field. Got a couple of good blocks there. We're one broken tackle away from taking it to the house. So, that's been a good thing. We certainly have to shore up. No surprise here. We got to shore up our run defense, which hasn't been what it's been here over the last few years. And we've got to get back to playing the way we normally play against the run.
So is it that age-old axiom, Coach, of guys trying to do too much? I mean, I know the type of players you have and the type of mentality and attitude they have. It's like, I'm going to, help my teammate. And I know that's got to be tough. I've got the gap control here. It doesn't look good over there. Maybe he needs some help. And now you go and maybe try to help him. Now be a son of a gun if they don't cut right where you were supposed to be. Is it that kind of thing more so than mental errors? What do you think it is?
It's definitely not mental errors. The guys are in the right spots. It's more technique, a little bit of what you're saying, where at some point there's guys trying to do a little bit too much, but that's really not the case. I can't pin it on that. It's just a little bit of everything, and but it gets back to technique and guys being in the lower pad level, just simple block destruction, getting off blocks, and then doing a good job tackling at the point of attack. So we need to get more 1s and 2s and 0 rushes as opposed to falling forward for 4, 5, and 6.
And as the case, it's normally never just one guy, that's doing it over and over. That's an easy solution. You're out and next guy in. Different culprits at different times. That makes it very tough on you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just think it's. I think we can all improve, as I said. Starting with me and the coaches. We've run fit things more than I've ever done, and we'll continue to do that in practice. But I think it's at every level up front. Starts with those guys to the linebackers, to the DBs, where everybody's just got to buckle down a little bit more and making sure we're on it. And I know we will. Our guys are great, and nobody's out there not trying to do it. Trust me on that. Yep. And they take pride in it, and we just got to do better.
DJ Turner played every snap, and man, his speed is noticeable, and no question about it. It jumps at you, and the play he made were never give up. Play to the whistle. Knocking that ball out of there in the back line of the end zone. End zone was big. Overall, when you assess DJ Turner's play in that football game, what'd you see, Coach?
Well, he's a rookie corner who's been asked to play a ton of snaps, and we're excited about where DJ's heading. I think every game is there's some learning that's going on for him. He'll be better at this point. He'll be way better at this point next year, just because of the experience. But he's got a ton of confidence. Guys are going to give up some plays in this league at that position. But DJ, he's very, very confident, and that's a good thing. And he had the 1-9 ball that they caught on him, but he came over to me right on the bench. He said, "Hey, the next one I'm picking off." So he's got that in him, which is great. Some other guys, may not have that, where they lose their confidence. But DJ is going to be just fine, and I'm pleased and happy that he's with us.
Boy, when when he scooped the fumble, I thought, oh man, scoop and score maybe. He's got so much speed, but too many guys had too good an angle on him. But that was a good play as well. I mean, he seems to have a nose for. Sometimes the ball finds guys. He seems to have a nose like that.
Yeah, I agree. He's really coming on in that regard, and like I said before, just playing with a ton of confidence.
Jordan Battle, Coach. This guy is a tackler. I mean, that's a good trait to have at the safety position. How's he done? I know he had that 11 tackle game, 10 of them unassisted. The game before, how did it go for him in the Pittsburgh game?
Yeah, same thing. Had a bunch of tackles. I think there's still some things we can continue to improve on, but he's in the last couple of games, he's shown that he can come in and be a solid tackler. He's been a pretty good blitzer as well. So we'll keep rolling the way we have it right now.
Man, I'll tell you, and I know you can't comment on this. It's but it had to be unbelievably frustrating to see the flagrant hold that occurred against Jermaine Pratt in the red zone, because you guys are so good in the red zone. It's like, man, to let that hold take place at the point of attack, bear hug and turn a guy, and back bounces it for a touchdown, and there's a flag immediately. And I'm like, oh, good, they got the hold. Then they picked the sucker up. That had to stun everybody on the sideline.
Yeah, we had two guys that Jermaine was going to kind of funnel the ball back inside, and Dax and DJ Ivy had to go in there for a snap, and they were kind of both inside waiting for the ball to go up inside, and then it bounced outside, and like you said, the flag got picked up, so we just had to play. We had to move on from there.
Those kind of things are unfortunate to say the least. When you Pickett, honestly, I thought he had his best game of the season in terms of throwing the deep ball. I mean, he was extremely – there was good coverage on just about every one of those deep balls. I mean, adequate coverage, and sometimes even better than adequate, and he just put it in good spots, didn't he?
Well, he made two good throws for sure on the 9 ball to on DJ Deontay Johnson, and then the inside fade to 14. So both good. Mike was in pretty good coverage too. But at the end of the day, we got to get those balls out.
So Freiermuth, for him to come back, he had a big day. What went wrong in that area trying to take care of the tight end?
Well, a couple things. We started on one of the first third down of the game where we should have stayed up on them, and we kind of came off and just had a really lapse in judgment on that one, and that was a 30-yard gain. The first play of the game, again, we could have insulated it a little bit better where we were in zone, and then from there it was just a matter of changing up, trying to change different people on him. And he was getting some check downs and turning it into, instead of 6 or 8, it became 11 or 12. So there was some of that. And we had a miscommunication on one of his man-to-man pickups where we could have put ourselves in better position, and we didn't. So, yes, clearly too many yards, too many completions to him, but credit to them for that.
So Canada is let go, and there's co-coordinators. And boy, how different is the offense going to be? What will they emphasize? Maybe what will they tweak? What did you see, Coach? How different was the offense that Matt Canada was running as opposed to the offense you saw post Canada?
Well, probably a little less pre-snap motion than they had been, but the core plays are their core plays that they've been running for years. And Coach Sullivan did a good job, but at the end of the day, it was a lot of what they've done.
Yeah, I didn't see that jet motion. They were running that a ton. I didn't see as much of that for sure. Let's move on. After the Pittsburgh Steelers game, now you got to go to Jacksonville for a Monday Night Football game. And everybody talks about the quarterback who's the first pick of the draft, and rightfully so. I mean, Lawrence is a special talent, but man, their running game. I mean, Etienne is a guy that he's 7th in the league in rushing, 7th in rushing touchdowns with 7 of them, 5th in scrimmage yards, tied for 3rd in first downs. That guy's kind of the straw that stirs the drink a little bit, isn't he?
He's a really good football player. They've got a ton of weapons with their receiving core. Start again, another good tight end, Evan Ingram, who I was with at the Giants. No Evan, Christian Kirk in the slot, Ridley, and that they have also. And again, as you mentioned, the back and the quarterback has done a really, really good job. So their O-line is good. They're a good football team. They're a very good, explosive offense.
Yeah, that O-line, it sounds like, and I don't know if it's going to be the case, but early in the week, it sounds like some guys were banged up a little bit. Cam Robinson, first and foremost, they were talking about Walker Little going out there to left tackle, and Ezra Cleveland maybe moving into the guard spot. But Scherf, I know, has been around a while. They have a rookie at the tackle position, Harrison, that is highly regarded coming out. They're pretty good up front, aren't they?
They're very good. They play well together. They're well coached. They protect the quarterback. And, they move people in the run game. So there's a reason why they're scoring all these points.
I did see, though, looking at their numbers, they've been a little loose with the football. They put it on the ground 19 times, tied for 5th most in the NFL, and they've lost 11 of them, which was second most in the National Football League. So, maybe that turnover mentality that you guys have, getting after that football as well as tackling the guy, maybe that'll pay dividends for you down there.
Yeah, it's going to have to be big. We're going to have to, come away with this game with multiple takeaways, and that's the plan.
So takeaways, red zone, gap control, just all the basics, right? The ABCs of football. That's the deal.
Yeah, it doesn't ever change. Good defense to a defense that's not playing as well. You can always fall back on the core fundamentals that we're teaching since back in the spring, and we've got to continue to emphasize those things. The good news about our crew of guys and our crew of men in the locker room, they don't flinch. They're out there giving their all every snap, and we'll continue to do that. And hopefully come away with a big win this Monday night.
No question, Coach. It looks like Logan Wilson's ankle injury. I mean, I saw him walking around the locker room pretty well, and that's not playing football. That's not running. But, I mean, it looked encouraging. It looked like it might not have been as bad as it could have been. Hopefully he'll be able to make the dance. Cam Taylor-Britt maybe make the dance for you. That's all questionable as the week goes on, but they're trending in the right direction, do you think?
Well, hopefully the extra day will help. We'll see. It's still early in the week, but, we're hopeful. We'll see how it goes.
Coach, once again, can't thank you enough. Candid, honest, as always, and put together a great one. Take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, knock them around a little bit on Monday Night Football, Coach.
Sounds good, Lap. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time as always, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.